has graduated from telling the Vice Chancellor, now telling the World Bank, and the International Monetary fraud. Don't call them fund. It's a fraud.
Yeah.
It's a fraud. Yes. And Sister Afyong is going to give you a powerful one tonight.
All right.
Greetings and good evening. I bring you warm revolutionary and Pan-African greetings.
Listen up, guys. Listen up.
I bring you warm revolutionary Pan-African greetings. My name is Afyong from the Pan-African Solidarity Center. And I'd just like to touch on a few things as it concerns our joint common struggles today. It is true that today we stand in front of Nigeria House, which is the Nigerian embassy in the US, and that, we're in the midst of a wider struggle, called Occupy, and that we're speaking to a constituency that is occupying Wall Street. But we must remember that the struggle is not just based in the United States of America, and it's not just in Nigeria and Africa. We are confronted with a global struggle. We're confronted with a global system. We're confronted with imperialism. That is what is happening to us today. And for those of us in Africa, we're confronted directly by neo-colonialism, which is a new kind of colonialism. And that's why you have the Obama government, a so-called black man, a so-called African, firmly in support of the neo-colonial regime in Nigeria. Why do we have that? Because it is a client state. The Nigerian state is a client state of imperialism. And that's why they continue to take orders from the IMF and the World Bank. They're both in this together. And so for those of us who are against any of these systems, we've got to understand and recognize that we confront one system. They are two sides of the same coin. And so when in the US, when in the United States, you want to occupy Wall Street, you need to be clear that you are not asking for reforms of the system, but that you are asking for a destruction of the system.
Shut it down!
We will build the new one.
That's right. We need to bring this system down because no amount of reform will change this beast. It is the nature of the beast. And this beast is, it has multiple arms. So in only killing one leg of it or one arm, it's not going to help us.
That's right.
You are in the belly of the beast.
Yes.
We are in the backyard of the beast.
Yes.
And we need to make sure we take it down from the back, from the front, inside the belly, from the top, and below. Yes! Sometimes, too often, some of us are focused on our own individual struggles. And that's why we have not been able to defeat this beast. And so I really feel privileged standing here where there is, a joining, a coming together of two struggles across the Atlantic to begin to identify and understand the real nature of the beast. And I'd like to say, that we need to keep up this alliance. We need to keep up this solidarity.
Yes.
This is what people's power is all about.
And it's unstoppable.
We gain strength from your struggle as you gain strength from our struggle because we have a common enemy and we need to focus and continue our struggles. The Nigerian regime has taken us, in fact, like all the other neo-colonial governments, they've taken us for granted for so long because they know they have their masters to support them, and then they fool the people with divisions of religion, ethnicity, gender, all this rubbish that they come to the people with. But enough is enough. And our people's eyes, our people are becoming clearer that there are they're not a multiple groups in Nigeria. There are only two groups in Nigeria: the oppressors and the oppressed. And so that battle needs to be fought and understood. So I just thank you so much for being out here with us today. As we will also be pleased to stand with you anytime, any day, and to know that Aluta continua,
Victoria Asata.
Good evening and greetings. Thank you.
When you hear a powerful speech like this, you get energized,
Yo.
and you want to fight more. You want to go after the beast. You know, I promise that I'm going for the behind of the beast. And some of you have to go for the stomach of the beast. Some of you have to go for the face of the beast. Some of you have to go for the arm of the beast. Some of you have to go for the leg of the beast. We must wrestle down this international greedy beast that is destroying us and destroying you. It is high time that the Atlantic Ocean begin to serve the cause of justice and freedom, because for too long that ocean has been used as a means of transporting slaves and commodities that are robbed from the other side of the Atlantic. Now that one-way traffic is about to become a two-way traffic. Just as you have been taking our resources, now we are bringing you freedom too. We are drawing energy from each other, and very soon the beast will fall into the Atlantic Ocean. On this note, I just want to tell you all that you have been the greatest. You are the best people now, and I can trust you one more, Americans. I used to be afraid because you know how it is. But now I'm beginning to regain my trust back, and we'll be very great brothers again. And we invite you not only to share our agony and pain, and you should also share our culture, share our food. All right? Let's just embrace each other, and I encourage you to just hang around and mingle, you know, talk more on how we can defeat the beast and have a united world of justice, fairness, and equity. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
One more thing.
We can be slow learners, but we do get it eventually.
One more thing before you leave. Here is the trick. Here is the trick. The Boko Haram, the Islamic movement bombing in the north, okay, some of the states in the north, is what they were focusing on. And then they slipped on us by removing the subsidy. You know, the idea was, so let the people focus on the bombing. Okay, that was the idea. So when people focus on the bombing, so they wouldn't pay attention to the government policies that was going on. And when they did that, it backfired. So the entire nation now is in the street, especially in the Lagos area, the north, Benin area, and other parts. So please, we still encourage you to support us. Other areas you can go to get additional information. It's republicreporters.com, saharareporters.com, elombe.com, Nigerian Village Square. These are online news agencies that give information. Whoonline.com. All these onlines, you get more information because we publish. We use our Twitter, our Facebook, and many other capacities. You know, our iPod, we use them. So we use the gadgets and it helps us to pass information. So please, we are here to stay, and we're going to continue with the struggle until our people are free. Either we are stay together or we divide it so we can go back to our regions.
Say the websites again, please.
www.com, republicreport.com or Republic Reporters, or www.saharareporters.com, or www.elombe.com, or www.Nigerian Village Square, or www.www.whoonline.com, and there are many others as well. So that the pointblank.com, Point News, and many others. So you can go there to get more news on what is happening directly from the people, what you call citizen journalists or citizen writers. We don't have to wait for the mainstream writers, we have to report ourselves, like he mentioned. So that's what we're doing. We're going to continue this, and we're going to be, I mentioned Sahara already. I mentioned Sahara. Okay, he's the publisher, okay, and I also publish republicreport.com, okay, ladies and gentlemen. So we encourage you to join us, to support us in what we are doing. It's a struggle that's already started. It's a global movement, and we want you to focus on Nigeria at this point in time. So what's going to happen, we have no idea how it's going to turn out. What happened in Egypt, they have no idea how it's going to turn out. What happened in Libya, no one has an idea how it will end up. What happened in Tunis and many other countries, and now it's happening in 150 million people in what is called Nigeria. How it will end up, we have no idea. But the question remains, the people are suffering, and the elite continue to loot the resources of our nation. It's a lot of crude oil, a lot of gas, but yet there's no light. They mentioned that. There's no road. The school system has collapsed. There's no school system whatsoever. The universities, what you call universities, are already like primary schools, glorified primary schools. The equipment are not there. There's no library. There's no water. There is nothing of a population.
So on Saturday, please, there's going to be another march in front of the United Nations by another group of Nigerians at 12 noon to continue the fight, to continue the struggle. Why are we taking on the United Nations? They were the first to go to Nigeria president and endorse the removal of the so-called subsidy.
They commended him. Yes,
You know, they commended him and said what he did is fine. But they are soon going to learn that the United Nations is no longer united. And the new United Nations is the Occupy movement all over the world.
Right.
Woo!
So,
Yeah,
12 noon.
in addition to that,
12 noon.
the IMF and World Bank plan their agents around the world. That's what they do. In Nigeria, they have what they call their finance minister, but he's an agent on World Bank. Okay, he was a former director. He resigned, and then he came over there to run their program. So by the time she left, then the IMF, what do you call it?
I have to head out
Boss, Christine Lagarde, went over, and she was there before a week or two. They removed the subsidy. So we think they're following the directives on IMF and World Bank, and that's what's going to happen. That's what our people are suffering. They did it in Haiti, it failed. In Jamaica, it failed. It failed in this country. It failed around the world. IMF has never done anything good anywhere.
No.
If you go and point, I can't see it. World Bank has never helped you.
No.
The banks here has collapsed. You and I knows that. So this is the problem that we face at this point in time. And we encourage you to go to monitor what is happening back home, what you call Nigeria, and to see what we're going to be doing. Like he said, we're going to be at United Nations, and that will be tomorrow. We're going to question the UN, the integrity of the United Nations, whether we are together or we are divided. So that's what we'll be doing. So again, thank you so much for all your support. Please check those websites for your information, and we're going to support you as well. Let's share energy. All right? Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Workers of the world,
Unite!
Workers of the world,
Unite!
Workers of the world,
Unite!
When I raise up my hand, I want that unite to come up.
Unite!
Workers of the world,
I am gonna have to turn off now. I gotta go. But maybe some other people here. Dicey Troop might have been here earlier on. Yeah. This is a solidarity march with Occupy Wall Street and Nigeria at the Nigeria consulate in protest of the military's treatment of Nigeria as they just fought for their basic civil rights about a week ago. A million-man march, and the military ended up shooting and killing at least 12 people in the march. I believe the figure was. So live ammunition. So we're in protest of that. Thanks. This is Matt. You could find my feed on ustream.tv/user/StopMotionSolo. STOP. Okay, no, it's just